love sometimes. Ironically, YouTube took down my last video, which was really tough love. Some of you said it was your favorite. Why it was taken down, when I was pointing to a website and reading from a website, somehow that was fake news. But I do have everything on BitChute for those of you that want to see those videos. So that's all there. This is actually a dream come true for me, friends. I will share something with you that I reminded my husband of just yesterday, and my sister, who is my first mate, and she has probably spoken to a lot of you because she calls the supporters to give her support and encouragement and gratitude. And it was not long ago, maybe about a year ago, and my sister has a very wide range of friends. And I said, Nance, how do you make all these friends? I need to make some new friends. So now I have about 100,000 new friends. And I want to thank you that you are among them. And I really mean that. I was despairing, like many of you were, in the early days when I was told to just not come back to work the next day. And I don't have TV or radio and watch the news, which maybe is why I'm a little bit more clear-headed than some of those that are gone off the deep end. But I was despairing because I thought, what in the world, who has the right to tell me not to go to work? And previous to that, about 2 weeks earlier, when I was working at the college here down the road, the president told us that we could not travel on our spring break. I mean, the president of the college. And I thought, and my husband will remember, I really flipped out on that one. It's like, what in the world? Little did I know what was coming. But I did, because it was really telegraphed. And so I spent many weeks in frustration trying to make sense and explain things to people on Facebook. Who was in that same boat, right? Trying to talk to people, and my husband finally said, sweetie, stop arguing with people on Facebook. It's like a dive bar. You're a teacher, you're an educator. Why don't you make a video and educate people as to what's going on? So my sister had that idea. She said, would you get off Facebook? I was with her for several days when all of this nonsense first started, and all she heard me say again and again as I was voice texting my responses to people. But if you wear a mask, why do I have to? She said, if I hear you say that one more time, stop arguing. It's never going to get through to them. So I decided to stop arguing, get myself out of the dive bar, out of the bar brawls, and I just decided to make a video to explain what I thought everybody knew, which is, please repeat after me, no governor can make a law. Right? No governor can make a law, but suddenly the governor was making laws. Now, of course, they're not calling them laws. They're calling them mandates. What else are they calling them? Measures, directives, policies, guidelines, guidance, rules, measures. None of those are laws. We live in a law-abiding society, not a guidance-abiding society. We have law enforcement, not guidance enforcement. You go into a court of law, not a court of guidance. Excuse me. I want to mention something about the court. Now, you know and I know that we do not need a court ruling to tell us that we have rights. We have God-given rights that we are born with, and the number one right is our right to life. And in order to stay alive, what do we need to do? We need to breathe. So anyone who says to you, where in the Constitution does it say you don't have to wear a mask? I'm going to tell you, I brought the Constitution with me. So I thought that these ideas of no governor can make a law, I thought that was self-evident. So I just made a video explaining exactly why this Emergency Services Act had zero legal grounding. Now, there is an Emergency Services Act, and if you read it, as I did, it's actually pretty short. It says if there's an earthquake or a hurricane or a tornado or an epidemic, that certain measures can be taken. But nothing that changes the law, and nothing that creates a new law, and nothing that creates a legislative policy. In our country, we don't have a single person rule. We're not a monarchy, although they're trying to create one. So when I created this video explaining the situation in California, it went viral. I didn't even have a YouTube channel. I remember I was at my sister's, and I just put it up, and I had like a different name on it and everything, and I thought, oh shoot, people are starting to really want information from me. I better make a website. So that's where the Healthy American was born, and look at all of you guys, you Healthy Americans! This is just incredible. I am so deeply grateful for your support. And when I say things like all hands on deck, I really mean that. We need all hands on deck. I might be at the helm, but we certainly need everybody to get this ship going in the right direction. So, is this better? Great. Okay, thanks. There was a court ruling from the Supreme Court of the United States yesterday. The Supreme Court upheld a truth. Remember, courts don't make laws. No judge makes a law. No sheriff makes a law. And for goodness sakes, no health officer makes a law. I mean, come on. This is not a country where one person can tell you what to do with your behavior. Yes, we have laws. Those laws were created in a law-making process by a governing body. So we have a governing body, the legislative body. We have a judicial body, which is the courts, and then we have the executive branch, which really is the weakest. They are co-equal, but when you think of the amount of power. So the Supreme Court held that, I don't know if I can use the word governor or not. I'll just call him Cuomo. Yeah, did somebody say dictator? I don't know that one. King? King is too nice of a word. Emperor, those are much too nice of words, yeah. There you go. Yeah, so the Supreme Court said that no pandemic, no emergency, no nothing sets aside our rights, including the right of religious liberty, religious expression. And the thing is, friends, one thing that's really important, and I know one of the most common questions I get from people is, oh, do you have an attorney? I want to file a lawsuit, and I get it. We are doing that, and I'm glad that you're doing that as well. And it is important to have those rulings, but I want you to remember you do not need permission from a court to exercise your rights. Those rights are written on your heart. You don't need to read them in any document. I am going to read them to you. But I just want to let you know, when people say, where is that written? You say, right here. It's written on my heart. You don't need a court to give you permission or approval. And I do want to read a couple of things here for you. Actually, before I do that, let's have a little fun and games. I would like you to think, we've been talking about the word liberty, right? With liberty and justice for all. Okay, this is a 2-minute exercise. It's an interactive exercise. And I would like you, maybe not with your friend or family member, but the person behind you, or maybe someone you don't know, if you would brainstorm some definitions and examples of the word liberty. Ready, set, go. All right. How about some synonyms? I don't know if I'll be able to hear you. I have a definition written down. Anybody want to yell out a synonym or a few things? Linda, what do you have? Oh, you want me to give the definition? What did you guys come up with? Sovereignty? Freedom? That is the word, liberty.
Free will.
It stands on its own. It doesn't need a definition, does it? Well, listen, I actually looked it up in the dictionary, and liberty is the power to act without oppressive restriction. How about that? So then we have to look at the word oppressive, right? What does that mean? That's the other thing they call these non-laws. They call them restrictions. If they're laws, they should call them laws, but they're not. But they are restrictions, that's for sure, because they are restricting, or they attempt to restrict our liberty. What is oppression? Take another minute, share your definition with a new person. What is oppression?
Withholding liberty. There you go. There you go. The answer is impediments to bearing slavery, given.
Okay, I know we know what it feels like. That was what I was feeling those months ago. I was feeling, okay, stifling. What are some other definitions of oppression?
Democrats.
Unjust. Slavery. You guys got it. You know what the dictionary definition is? I think this is a really interesting definition from the dictionary. Oppression is unjust treatment, right? Unjust, without justice. And remember our Pledge of Allegiance? With liberty and justice for all. So oppression is the opposite of justice. Oppression is unjust treatment or control, including mental pressure and distress. So this oppression is in direct opposition to our justice and our liberty. Let's do one more kind of negative, and then we'll get on to the positive. You know me, I like to focus on the positive. So take a moment, another little interaction here. Give a definition for tyranny. You don't even need time to think about that. Oh my gosh. All right. The dictionary definition of tyranny is using power without authority. Using power without legal authority. So what we are seeing is the dictionary definition of tyranny. I know it sounds like it's just a word that people throw out, like I'm exaggerating. Oh, the tyranny. And do you know, is this the same for you guys? My cell phone will never spell that word. It always gives me like Gene Tierney, some old actor's name. It never will give me the correct spelling of tyranny on Facebook or anything. So a tyrant is the person who uses power without authority. And the court is what upholds and tells that person to stop doing it. So I am very encouraged that in California, on November 13th, a ruling was made final. It's called a final ruling by Judge Heckman in Sutter Court, saying exactly this, and I quote. It's very easy to memorize, and I recommend that I have it at the website, you print it out. Any business owner, just put that on your window, and anybody else can carry that around. Now, I can't say it will stop people from breaking the law, which is why we have courts and why we have prisons and jails, because there are lawbreakers. But this ruling states very clearly that Gavin Newsom, excuse me, that's a hard one to say. In his official capacity as the governor of California, is enjoined. Enjoined means prohibited. It is a restraining order against him. That's what it means. Enjoined and prohibited. They use two words for emphasis. He is enjoined and prohibited, and I quote, from exercising any power under the California Emergency Services Act. Hello? I feel that my first video was just vindicated because that's exactly what I said in May. That this is unlawful, it is invalid, and I didn't know back then what to do about it. I called my senator and my assemblymen, and they're like, "Are you a lawyer?" I said, "No, but I should be." I actually studied political science. I wanted to be an attorney. My husband's like, "Sweetie, you're getting your chance." I just didn't like arguing. I liked the truth. And I shared all this information with several senators, and they're like, "Wow, that's fantastic." And Assemblyman Kevin Kiley took the case and went to court, and all these months later, now it has been ruled favorably. So I'm really, really happy about that. All of you helped Americans play a role in that. Now, the fact of the matter is, just like you can tell somebody that carjacking is illegal, it doesn't mean it's going to prevent them from carjacking. So just because the governor was told that he has no power under this Emergency Services Act to create law, it doesn't mean he's not going to keep trying to do it, which is what he did with this Thanksgiving restrictions. So he didn't come to our event today, but we are going to show our videotape far and wide. I hope you will all do some live streams and share all of that as well. Because this, my friends, is the American spirit. We don't need no judge to tell us, to give us permission. We don't need no governor to tell us to stay home. Do you know in the earlier guidebook, our country doesn't run on guidebooks, but on one of his playbooks, it said, we are not supposed to laugh. Let's do it, you guys. Yes, yes. Now, if he dies, it's not my fault. I wasn't here. So laughing apparently now is fatal to other human beings, as is breathing, and I'm sure thinking is also fatal. So I know, and I'm glad that we can laugh about it, friends. So what I would like to do now is for you to give your definition with your friends there, maybe a different person. Take about a minute, and I want you to actually define the word freedom. Define it, and what does it mean to you, and what are you willing to do in the name of freedom? Go. With your friends, please. All right, shall we hear a couple of these definitions you came up with for freedom? Want to shout them out? In a way, it kind of does define a definition, doesn't it? What do you think? Acting without restraint?
You know what I always say is I always go, yeah, that's the reason. And then I just
It's fun, yes it is. The dictionary definition of freedom is the power to act, speak, and think without hindrance or restraint. I just love that. You may know that two of my most important areas of focus at the Healthy American, number one is freedom learning to help, and it's called freedom learning because it is without restraint, How many of you here have kids that are not in a public school, that you are, yeah, you're doing the freedom learning, freedom schooling, self-directed learning? It's very important. It's important for our freedom and for our future. And the second area of my focus is to keep the small businesses open. How many of you here have a small business, go to a small business, want to support a small business? Yeah, the small businesses are the backbone of our economy and therefore our American way of life. If we don't have small businesses, they're all government businesses. But listen, I'm not even doing this work to keep the businesses open. I'm doing the work to keep the freedom intact. If we don't have the freedom, there's no place for these businesses to operate anyway. Now, friends, I want to talk a little bit more. I'm going to finish up with a little reading of some important founding documents. And before I do that, I'm going to invite up my wonderful Patriot pal, Mark. I feel like we are like brother and sister, because no matter where I go, Mark is there. I mean, we just like follow, and we don't even live nearby. And when you see him, you'll see he just has this joyful spirit about him. He is the person, one of the most important people. I know there are others here. In fact, raise your hand if you are one of the organizers and coordinators and volunteers for the Recall Gavin Newsom. Yeah, give yourself a hand. Look at these people. Good job, you guys. Come on up, Mark. Mark has driven with his family to 40 out of the 58 counties in California. And he's been assaulted in the name of freedom. And he is standing strong, and he has internalized all of these laws, the rights, and does it with this beautiful smile on his face. So here you go, Mark, my buddy and friend.
Thank you, guys. Wonderful to see everybody here. Like I'm holding back tears. Hello? Everybody else is always telling me to quiet down. Put a muzzle on, right? And I just love Peggy. I love you so much. I don't know how we connected. It was just, inspiration. And ever since then, and I've connected with so many of you out here that I recognize. Just media. Okay, this is a big. I'm not used to this. Yeah. So and one thing Peggy always says is don't, like, she's just the most wonderful teacher, but we need to put it into action, right? And so I feel like I'm like, okay, Peggy, whatever Peggy says, I gotta do, because she speaks truth, right? And it's about freedom, and it's our God-given freedoms that are not given to us or authorized by anyone other than God. And we don't need to look to anyone to exercise those freedoms without restraint. So we were talking about, some of you here I met today, Kern County. I've driven 45 counties across this beautiful state, and I just had to act. I just had to get up and go. I saw Alan Hostetter. I don't know if he's here, but he inspired me to just stop complaining online and get out of my house and get out there and do. We need to act and just exert your freedom. I was leaving a co-cost the other day, and this woman yells at me, thank you for teaching your daughters the truth and standing up for freedom. And I said, and you're so brave. And I said, I'm just American living free. There's nothing brave about that. I'm just living free, and how that has become not the norm, I do not understand. And many of us are just bewildered right now when we look around our neighborhood, in stores, wherever we go, we are just normal people living free and living truth and not going to live the lie. The most basic principle of religion is truth, and the devil is the deceiver. And so if you're gonna, I just cannot do it. I can't perpetuate the lie by going along with the lie. It's against my religion. It's against God. It's an affront to Him and I just will not be part of it. And be brave. If that's what it is, then be brave. I saw somebody's shirt, the land of the free, because of the brave. So maybe that is. Maybe we just need to be brave. I'm so thankful for my daughter, Ivy, that has never missed one protest. And she is my inspiration, and she's so brave. We were assaulted. We've been harassed and everything throughout the 45 counties we've gone. We've traveled 9,000 miles plus with 500,000 signatures worth of the recall petition. And this hat is one of two that is signed everywhere by awesome patriots across this state. Sitting at a gas station or walking with a clipboard. If you're in San Francisco, I met some patriots here, Liam, from San Francisco, that drove down here just to, and everywhere I go, they know Peggy too. Yeah, we mentioned Sutter County where the court case was held. Cindy Huff, if you're going to be watching this, I'm sure, because you know Peggy. Donna Wahlberg over in Sutter County, or Yuba. Marina up in San Francisco, in the belly of the beast, fighting the recall to fire this governor. The courts are great, but they are limited, and the quickest way to get rid of this guy is through the recall, just through signing that thing. It's just, we can fire him. And so, courts take too long, it takes years, right? Anything. And so, I'm going to encourage you, I brought a box of petitions and some envelopes, and I'm going to encourage you to take 2 petitions from me that's 10 signatures worth. And I'm sure everybody you know has already signed it. And all your friends and your family and who are awake, aware of what's going on. But I'm telling you today, because this is all volunteer effort, to get 10 people to sign that thing that you don't know. And it's real easy, because in Sutter County, actually, I remember I was walking around with Cindy Huff, and she downloaded a walking list of the Republicans in her county. So we were going door to door, and it was a new strategy to get the word out. And so on this list, I was starting to just notice that every house that's on this list has a flag on their house. And every house that doesn't have a flag isn't on our list. So you don't even need to pay for the list. Just go through your neighborhood, anybody with a flag of any sort, they will sign that thing, they just don't know it exists. And the courts are important to uphold our rights that come from God, not from them either. See, I'm not as well spoken as Peggy or Russ or Washington. And I'm a little scattered, but so I just want to say though that through this, I wanted to see for myself, and we're shadow banned, we're being censored, we're being silenced in America, and this is not okay. That's our first liberty, and we'll protect it with the second if it comes to that. And but so I wanted to go around to these counties and just see for myself and show everybody else, because somehow just meeting people and it just snowballing. I walked. The first thing was the April in Orange County here, and petting those sheriff's horses down at the Huntington Beach Pier. My daughters love that event. And our wonderful sheriffs. Have you seen the color-coded map of California of sheriffs who are not enforcing the tyranny? Almost all of California. We have wonderful sheriffs who are upholding the Constitution and being that backstop and our defense against the tyrants. So thank you, sheriffs. I want them to be a little more vocal about it. Like, we'll go ahead and go enforce the Constitution now on these tyrants. But so I became an administrator somehow. I just have a loud mouth, I guess, and they said, we're going to make you administrator. And I've been, a couple phone calls from Orrin Heatley. Hey, you can't post that, because anything I post just goes up on this whole state recall website. And so, but with that, I'm like, I'm not the administrative type. I am not the Peggy Hall type. I'm a doer. I'm a hands-on. I can do things. I can go out and do things, but I'm just not the research type. Like my daughter loves watching Peggy. She knows probably every video you've ever made by memory. She has a wonderful memory, and she researches too. But I wanted to get out and do, and And so I just, I thought, okay, administrator, I can live stream and it will go, I can post something and it goes right on. I don't have to wait for permission, which I love. And so I just live streamed everywhere I went with these 500,000 signatures worth of the petition up and down the state. And I can tell you there's people in Eureka, in Humboldt County, in a little town called Ferndale up there. There's Andy Beck, if you're listening, you're up in Susanville, in Lassen County, Northeast. There are patriots in San Francisco Marina and Brad walking the streets, getting harassed, getting signatures though. There are people doing this everywhere, down in El Centro, everywhere. And it was just a beautiful sight to see, and I hope it just, I just wanted to go and thank them personally and should show them that their efforts are not in vain. They're not just the only ones sitting there getting signatures next to the grocery store. We won a court case in Sutter County recently from a judge in California, which is a miracle, for an extension. And so it gives a chance for all of these bigger names, the Daryl Issa, who was the hero of getting rid of the other tyrant, Gray Davis, years ago. But it gives the other people who want us to vote for them, and I'm not registered Republican or Democrat, I'm independent, and it gives these Republicans who have the best shot of getting elected, right, to a second chance, because now we have 4 more months. It's like a whole new recall that's half done for them. We have 800,000 and counting every day signatures from these patriots across the state, and I saw a lot of you raise your hands for these signatures out here in Orange County too, and people from everywhere. Somebody came down from Kern County who I met on my first recall road trip #1. She's down here, and it's amazing the group of friends and patriots that gather together. There you are. So thank you. And Kern County's going strong, and there's so many counties. I mean, I could go on and on. There's just everywhere, and counties have met their 12% goal, like within the first month, some of them, and they are still going and getting signatures. And so this thing is happening, but it's of the people, by the people. It's we the people doing it. So do not leave here without 2 of the petitions that we have printed out. Oh, and this is just, Peggy did, about small businesses. So my friend made this up, and I have this on my Facebook and on the state Recall Facebook group. It's called recallgavin2020.com/homepage public forum. You have to look back on the video to remember that. But we put the link to this picture, and it says, it has the Recall bear on there, right? The logo. And it just says, save my business, so please sign now. Okay? And that is, you can take that to every business, put a stack of petitions in front of that thing, and it's not partisan, it's not right or left, it's just right and wrong. They are destroying these people, they're destroying lives, they don't care over their politics, they don't care whose lives they're destroying, and they're literally being destroyed. We've seen just devastation across the state, and it just enrages me. It makes my blood boil, and the fact that the only thing I regret in this whole thing is that I was deemed essential, because I hate the word non-essential. I hate it with every fiber of my being. We are all essential. The mom is essential to the kids, cutting hair or whatever they're doing, nails, whatever it is, serving in a restaurant. The kid, the parent is essential to them. If you're single, you're essential to yourself, to take care of yourself. And that's just got to end, and that's why I'm out there fighting, because maybe next time I'll be on that communist list with my business, whatever it's described as. Maybe I'm on the communist list next time. What's to say I'm not? We don't give them this power. We don't let them set this precedent. We push back. You stand up and you don't comply. You just exert your freedoms. I guess you be brave and you live free by living free, breathing free. And we will not ever obstruct our breathing by any kind of face covering, ever. I don't care even if it becomes a law, which it never will. There is none anywhere in the whole United States. There's none. We shopped everywhere we needed to buy food, and now it's 9 months later. 9 months. Not 9 weeks, 9 days. They said 2 weeks, and that's about all we gave them. And then it's been 9 months. And is it going back to normal? They don't even ever want it to. They don't even like to, they will not use the word normal because they don't want it to go back to normal. They are happy with people complying and are gonna just pounce and seize on that and try and push it as far as they can. And this is a long strategy from years in the education system, teaching to hate America, teaching false history and all of that. And I'm one of the blessings that's come out of this is that I'm able to finally, it pushed me over the edge to finally do the formal withdrawal from government school for my 3 children. And we filed the affidavit, and we're not doing charter or anything. It is my school. It is their school, and it's their minds, and they love America, and they are bright, and our first period is scripture study, and God's right back in school, just like that. So I don't want to take too long here. Yeah. So I'm going to go get my stuff, and I'll just be over there, you know, so don't leave. Get some signatures. We need all your help. And we need volunteers and donations. This is now nationwide. Since this recall got extended, I've seen it on national news now. And so now it's anyone in the whole United States can donate to it. Money can come from everywhere. It cost Daryl Issa like $3 million to recall Gray Davis. He did it by himself. And if John Cox or anybody else, or Elon Musk or anybody else, whoever, but just like every signature counts, every dollar counts, every volunteer counts. Go out on the weekend. Go out this weekend. It's Black Friday. Get just down to your local grocery store. Go to the website, print it out, or just take some from me. I've got a whole box full of them.
Oh my gosh, how awesome is this? Here's the flyer, here's the poster. So what I love about Mark, many things I love about him, his enthusiasm, but he was the person at home complaining, and he decided, I'm not going to just complain, I'm going to do something. So action is one of the most important things, is to just take that action. Somebody who is always taking action, my friend Russ, I call him the super patriot because he is. He's going to tell you a little bit about his background, or a little bit about he came onto the patriot movement, and then he's got an event to tell you about as well. Come on, Super Russ!
Thank you. All right, guys, I actually have a public service announcement to make. You have exactly 6 hours and 31 minutes to return to your homes. Exactly 10 o'clock, and it will be a state mandate requirement. You may leave your home no earlier than 5 a.m. Yeah, I heard that gentleman, and Peggy said I have to keep this family friendly today. That's why they gave me a speech to get their feet off of. But listen, I saw this text come in, and a second later I sent my good friends Alan and Morton, we're part of the American Phoenix Project. I sent them a text. I said, so I guess our street party starts at 10:01. And I feverishly worked through the night that night, and I started a Facebook group called the California Curfew Breakers. Because there is no way that I am going to allow someone to tell me when I need to be in my freaking home. It's just not going to happen. And it was incredible that in just about 13 or 14 hours, I put out the call for people in Sacramento, Ventura County, my brother-in-law in Santa Barbara. We had people in San Diego that stepped forward, out in Yorba Linda, Redlands, Redding, California, Santa Cruz, and all up and down the state. We had 16 locations that followed a similar agenda that I put together. It started exactly 10:01 p.m. That 1 minute is when we all came out to the streets. And I was in San Clemente, and we even did a good old-fashioned mask burning. Yeah, we had to buy masks to then come in and burn. Huntington Beach Beach had about 1,500 people. We had about 500 or 600 people in San Clemente, and up and down the state we had people. And we actually got international news coverage, which is incredible. I don't know if Cindy Lai is here, but if you guys know her, she did some incredible work inside of less than 24 hours. She had a bunch of news coverage out, and incredibly enough, on Saturday at 10:01 p.m., we got to humiliate Gavin Newsom. And so this Saturday, we are coming out again, this time with a full week of preparation, and we're going to be in San Diego at the USS Midway. We'll be in Huntington Beach at the Huntington Beach Pier. We'll be up in Santa Monica at the Santa Monica Pier. And then we'll be up in Santa Cruz. We'll be up in Sacramento. And all up and down the state, we have another about 15 or 16 locations where people are going to come out to the streets exactly at 10:01. We're going to have a party. We're going to possibly burn some masks. We're going to declare, again, that we are free Americans, that there will not be a curfew put in place. We simply do not oblige. Now, if you don't feel comfortable or if you're unable to attend one of these events, that's okay. I would just encourage you to go outside your house at 10:01 p.m. Take a picture, post it, and just put hashtag California Curfew Breakers and flood social media with a declaration that you will not have a curfew. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard of.
Yep.
So if you can make it out, we're expecting to have some incredible events this Saturday, and it's going to be again the moment that we declare and that we take action. That's when we start pushing back on this tyranny. If we all could have easily on Saturday said, you know what, I usually go to bed at 9:30, no big deal, right? Another day goes by, but I'll warn you, if you watched his press conference, he actually declared, Newsom did, he said, we're going to put in this curfew. And the bottom of the slide, not many people saw this, there's a very tricky word or phrase that he used, and it said, time may be contingent. So it's 10 o'clock today, but guess what? In a week, maybe 2 weeks, by order of the state, we now declare 9 o'clock. 2 weeks later, by order of the state, we now declare 8 o'clock. And the moment will come soon in the coming months, if we don't do anything, that guess what? You may depart from your place of work, you have 37 minutes to return to your home, and you must be at your home, locked up by 6 p.m.
Peggy for governor!
Yes. We'll get him back. So again, guys, you being here today, coming out on Saturday, these acts of defiance are critical right now. If we continue to let these things persist and we don't do anything, we will be swept under the rug. You have to take action. And a lot of people say, oh, Russ, you're just so big and so strong and handsome. Thank you. I added the last part. But, and I tell people, thank you very much. But then I say, have you seen Peggy Hall? I don't want to get in her way, right? Does not matter, okay? What matters is that you have the courage to say no. I am not going to allow this to happen. I do not consent, right? You have to declare it, and you have to take the action. And as you take that action, as a free American, we have those freedoms. You're able to show other people, right? Draw people out, and they get courage. Courage is contagious. So I'll leave that with you, that courage is contagious. So take the action of being here today. Send a picture to your family, send a picture to your friends, and say, look at what we did today. It's insane to me how many people are brainwashed. We were out, I'll close with this. We were out at a restaurant. And my kids, they're like awesome. They like call out people, oh, there's that guy wearing a mask in his car and all that. I love it. Great. And guy and his girlfriend are walking into this ice cream shop, and he steps up onto the curb. Oh, I forgot my mask. And I said, oh, you're good, dude. They don't need it. What? Seriously? He says to me, yeah, no, we just went in. They didn't say anything. We didn't wear masks. I said, oh, really? Yeah, go ahead. Tell me how it feels. And I told my son, I said, he'll be one of two types of people. He'll make a decision right now to be courageous and do that thing, or he'll be hesitant and he'll say, no, I just gotta go back. Gotta have my mask. But he did it. He went through, got his ice cream, like a normal freaking American. And when he walked out, and on his way out, I said, how'd it feel? said, "It feels pretty good." And I told him, I said, "How's it feel to be a free American?" And he kind of like laughed, you know. So he's like, "Dude, this guy probably hasn't, not worn a mask in a shop or whatever for months." So many people are just like, they're just intoxicated with the propaganda. And I'll share one final thing, I promise, this is it. Yes, DC, we went up to Washington, DC, and it was, the best word to describe is historic. Million plus Patriots descended on Washington, DC inside of 3 days. And it was incredible. You guys probably saw all kinds of great things there. According to CNN, it was about a group this size. But it was incredible. But what was surreal to me is as we left Dulles Airport, there was a woman, the TSA lady, I didn't have my mask on. And she, I give her my license, my ticket. She's looking down. She just says to her, she says, "Please take your mask off, sir." I'm looking at her like, I didn't say anything. And then she looks up, and I keep going. She looks at me dead in the eyes. "Sir, can you please take your mask off?" Just like, seriously? And I sit there for a moment, and I just have a smile. I'm like, sorry, the only thing I brought today was a smile. And so she like breaks out of her trance. She's like laughs, And the reflection that I had was that I was probably the only person to have gone through her little line in 9 months without a mask on. And so we are a very select few amount of people that are awake and that are brave enough to go through these battles every day, these fights every day. And I would just encourage you guys to continue to do that. And you have to ask the question, at what point will these people come out of this trance? I can't give you that answer. I don't know. I feel that there's this timeline that they're going to just be in these masks forever. Maybe. We'll see. I hope so. I just feel that there's still so many people that are in this trance. And so these actions that we do every day, day in and day out, those are the things that we are leading by example. And again, courage is contagious. So again, guys, this Saturday, come out to the streets of Huntington Beach. This is probably the closest location. Join the group. Join Patriots in defiance of Newsom's mandatory order. And tonight, be out at 10:01. Santa Cruz, they're all over. If you're on Facebook, you can go to California Curfew Breakers, and we have all the flyers and all the events up there. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Now, what I didn't mention is that our Super Patriot Russ has been graciously hosting many of our Patriot Empowerment Nights. So what do you think about this? Location's pretty cool too, isn't it? You like it? Yeah. How about making this an annual event? I'm all up for that. Absolutely. Now, one of the main tenets that we have at the Healthy American, action, of course, education through the videos, documents, and so forth, and connection, which is what we're doing now. Because the three tools of the enemy are division, keeping us apart, deception, which is we fight back with education, and then despair. And despair is the most harmful because it's a psychological harm that falls right into the hands of the enemy to remove that American spirit. Now, the reason I called this group the Healthy American, by design, because health is not just in your physical body. What other kind of health do we have? Physical health, mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, right? And I would even say social health, right? That we get to interact. So many of you have asked and have been connecting with others locally because we are grassroots at the Healthy American in terms of people at the helm. We simply don't have the resources to currently to organize 330 million people. We tried, but we have somebody here, a Healthy American, Anthony Rose, who has been with us on board from the beginning, and he's making great waves in Southern California. Come on, Anthony, just give a couple of words here, all right? You can connect with him.
the gentleman who is collecting signatures for Recall Gavin, for Peggy and for yourselves. All right. I didn't prepare a speech. I'm not used to public speaking, but I'll share a little bit of my story with you. Just like I'm sure many of you, months ago, I just got tired of being told what to do. Being told that I have to wear a face mask, all that stuff. Seeing my rights stripped away, not being able to grocery shop without a mask, all that stuff. And so I just basically, for myself, I pushed myself out of my comfort zone to still go out and not wear a mask.
There you are.
And being looked upon as the black sheep. But I did. But I felt a little lonely, feeling like I was the only one that thought normal, that thought that it didn't make any sense to cover your two air passageways. So I divide that, and then to try to reach out to see if there were other people that thought like I did, they need to breathe. I found Peggy, watched her videos. I really gravitated to her and just really resonated with what she was saying. It's all common sense. And so I had her, but I wanted more of her. I couldn't, I had to wait every few days or once a week for a video, and I wanted more and more normalcy and more like-minded people. So I started reaching out to my community and started trying to find other like-minded people to form a community and a connection like Peggy's always talking about. And so I started going to Peggy's events live in person, and started taking names and numbers, networking with people. And I live in Pasadena, and started an organization called Healthy and Free, paying homage to Peggy Hall at the Healthy American, right? We're all healthy Americans wanting to live healthy and free. So I created that, and as I was going to Peggy's live events, was taking notes and getting suggestions and tips on how to grow this movement. And it just basically took on a life of its own. I've only started this about a few weeks ago. Right now we're up to about 30 people on our meetup, 30 people on a group chat that we have. So instead of these people having to wait a few days for a Peggy video or a week for a Peggy event, if you're on our group chat, you can drop a message and boom, right away you have over 30 friends, like-minded people that you can connect with, you can talk with, you can ask, hey, is anybody in this city that can go grocery shopping with me? I know it sounds so strange to say that, but yeah. Anybody want to go to the dentist with me without a mask? It blows my mind, right? So apparently it's not just me. Apparently everybody wants to be around like-minded people that want to think healthy and want to not wear a mask and want to live and thrive. Apparently it's not just me. Go figure. So I created this group and told Peggy what we were doing, and was explained to her, the infrastructure that we're building, the model that we have in place. Where basically, we have to meet at least once a week. Right now we have 2 weekly meetings. We have one in Pasadena, one in Los Angeles. Pasadena is every Sunday at 11 a.m. in Victory Park. No matter how close or how far you are, if you can make it, please come check us out. It's a great group of people, and we're going to be having some amazing speakers. We have a second meetup. It's every Wednesday at 7 p.m., which is our Silver Lake Walk, and that's been amazing. And then just from having people in our group with leveraging all their talents and their skills, within the next week or so, we're building a website. We'll have something similar to Dropbox. It's much more secure and encrypted for documents. Peggy has given us her okay to upload all her documents, sharing the laws and the information that people can download within our group. So thank you so much for that. And gosh, just so much that we have going on, and so much in the pipeline, and so much exciting stuff. Yes. I'm going to give out my phone number to about 200 to 300 people, which I haven't done before. Yeah, so my name is Anthony Rose. My phone number is 323 839 0122. And that's right. Just don't write it on the toilet stall wall, please. That's all I ask. And my email is ar.web, which is W-E-B, 1B, so ar.web@me.com. You're all my family. You're all welcome to call me, text me. I will take time to speak with everyone to tell you what we have, our meetups, our group chat, how we can get you all connected. Doesn't matter if you're in Pasadena, Orange County, San Diego. I would like us to be a part of our group. At that point, we'll be identifying clusters of groups of people within, San Diego, OC, West Side, Santa Monica, so forth. And then we'll look for an organizer in each area that would like to step up and start a chapter, a healthy and free chapter in that area, following our model. And our model is you have to have at least one event per week in person. You have to have a group chat for all your members to connect. And there's a few other things too that we can talk about later. But we want everybody to join. We're all family as far as I'm concerned. So 323 839 0122. And Peggy, I can't thank you enough for everything.
I just love this. Is a perfect example of just doing something like Mark. He just started to do it. And Anthony's, you know what? I want to meet people in person. I don't want to go shopping alone. But the beautiful thing is Anthony is already doing some of the legwork. So you friends that are here from Oregon and Nevada and Northern California and the Inland Empire and the High Desert and the Palm Springs area, you can start doing these types of groups on your own as well. And Anthony will show you how to do that. Please call him. I'm grateful for him. As I say, we are involved in so many things at the Healthy American, and really my focus is on education. So I want to do my videos, my research, the documents, speaking, and events, and then the all hands on deck, getting everybody organized. Doesn't it feel great to be outside with people looking at them face to face? I tell you, I am going to live on this day for a long, long time, and I want to make it an annual event. It's been such an extraordinary year. We wanted to have a very extraordinary Thanksgiving, and I thought the food was incredible. Oh my gosh, abundant, delicious. Thank you again. If our hospitality angels are still here, would you stand up? They're probably putting everything away. So yes, we have Rosalba, and we have Linda, and we have Claudia, and we have Nari. So very grateful. And a big hand for our chef. He may have already left, but the caterers were just fantastic. And I want to thank all of you. Look at these incredible yummy desserts you brought, all of the abundance. It really touches my heart. We're going to wrap up here, friends, and what I would like to do is I just want to read a part of the Declaration of Independence, because that is actually what was at the root of the founding of our country. And it's so eloquent, and I'm just going to read it here. So here we go. Maybe it may, in your own mind, if you want to repeat it, or maybe you repeat it out loud. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Created. You are created. And it goes on to say that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. And if you look at that word, it means unalienable. No lien may be placed on your rights. That means no hindrance, no restriction, those words that we read earlier. Unalienable means nothing may preclude them. No pandemic, no emergency, no catastrophe, no law. Period. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life. And we know life requires oxygen. So I feel really great. I'm not actually worried about any of this nonsense. I'm bothered by it, yeah. I'm irritated and frustrated, but I'm not worried because it never can stand. And it's up to us to help educate others as to this. And this is a beautiful way to start. It's just asking, hey, are you familiar with the Declaration of Independence? How fun to just print this out and make little cards and pass them out. You guys are awesome. Many of you have been doing that, making cards, postcards, business cards. I really appreciate that. Our unalienable rights, among these are life, liberty, we already defined that, and the pursuit of happiness. That's really amazing that that was included, because it's kind of hard to define. And I think that was the brilliance of it, because that is an individual pursuit. Listen, please. To secure these rights, because they've already been given by God. To secure them means to protect them. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. This is like almost my favorite part right here. Deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That's us, we the people. The power is only given through our consent. I do have a t-shirt coming out saying I do not consent. Yeah. With a special Black Friday code for a discount. You guys are asking for them, so I wanted to help. I just love this part. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. That is how our country was founded. To institute a new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. This is what our country is founded on. Further, there was a preamble to our Constitution, we the people of the United States, because we are the people. In order to form a more perfect union, establish justice. We know the opposite of justice is tyranny and oppression. To establish justice, to ensure domestic tranquility, to provide for the common defense, to promote the general welfare, which actually was defined at that time as well-being, not welfare as we know in our current day, and to secure the blessings of liberty. There's that word again, liberty. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, which are these beautiful young ones right here. We do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. And I just want to read one more important thing about the Constitution. It's very important. Do you know the very first article and section in the Constitution? We aren't always taught about that. I don't think it's in the forefront of people's minds, but right here today, in our time, it's really, really important. Article 1, the very first thing that was stated in the Constitution, the very first thing says, all legislative powers herein shall be granted, shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives. This is what created this country different from any other country. Every other country on the face of the earth makes its laws from one ruler. This was so important in the Constitution, they didn't even talk about the executive branch of the president. That comes second. They talked about the legislative body. It is a body that we have elected, that we give our consent to. So I know many people have their hopes and prayers pinned on this election. Trust me, one person does not have power over your life. One human being is not your savior. Is there good and evil? Yes, there is. Are there strong leaders, weak leaders, demented leaders? Yes, there are. Are there corrupt? Are there inept? Are there competent? Yes, all of those are true. The president does not have power to make laws or mandates. Yes, we need leaders. I'm happy to be one. But the power is in you. The power is in the people. And we are represented by these legislators who make the laws. So isn't that interesting, everybody? It's so important in the founding of our country that it was listed number 1, Article 1, Section 1. I just think that's incredible. We, over the years, have given the idea that one person has power, like the president, and it's actually not true. It's 3 co-equal branches of government. That's what's called checks and balances. So when the executive branch steps out of line, the legislative branch can create a law or a resolution or something to bring them back in. We, the people, can go to a court for resolution, and vice versa. So that's the checks and balances. Now, I do want to read just a couple more things as we wrap up here. And this is, in addition to the Constitution, we have something called the Bill of Rights. The Constitution was all about the government. It didn't talk about our rights. It didn't talk about the people at all. So the Bill of Rights enumerates our rights as people. And again, they're not given to us. It is a statement of what those are. And the First Amendment, again, normally when we list things in order of importance, right? So the First Amendment, you probably know it. Congress, I just love this. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. All right? My religious beliefs prevent me from veiling my face and obstructing my God-given breath. God gave me my first breath, and He will take my last breath, and I'm very happy about that. You don't need any exemption not to wear a mask. You don't need a medical exemption. You don't need a religious exemption. You have the right to life and the right to breathe. Further, what we are doing here, Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Amen. Or of the press, or of the right of the people to peaceably assemble, which is what we are doing here. Thank you, Lord, for this wonderful day, because it was without incident. We actually had no visitors from any city or
Not yet.
Oh, we do? Oh, well, hello. Welcome. Nice to see you.
He's on his
Glad you're
motorcycle
here.
over there.
Happy Thanksgiving. So we are here participating in a peaceful assembly, for the record, as protected by law. I would like to finish, friends, with a prayer. And if you would please read with me. I'm going to say a line, and this is a prayer that I was inspired to write for you. This is a prayer for you as an activist. On Sundays, at 6 o'clock California time, so whatever time that is in your time zone, if you would like to recite this, I am reciting it. And it's a way of us to have our community and communion together. So right now, if you don't mind, you could repeat if you like, or just listen. So this is a prayer for activists. Oh Lord, I long that people might hear the truth. Give me assistance in reaching others, with my heart uplifted for grace and wisdom. Guide me to share my views with fullness of truth, clarity of thought, proper expressions, fervency and conviction, guided by your wisdom and light. Keep me conscious of my own faults and flaws, and open my heart to hear the sorrows of others. Shine your light of comfort and peace, and may no soul be lost to your love. Strengthen me by your Spirit. Stand between me and all strife, so that I may speak fully and freely and do this work you have called me to do. Amen. Thank you, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here.